Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women, the podcast where we uncork the stories and insights of exceptional female leaders from all walks of life. Our goal is to serve up wisdom, tips, and inspiration, and to support each other in rediscovering ourselves and what sets our souls on fire. We'll also share personal memories, paired with friends and a favorite beverage. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe that the best stories are served up over a glass of wine or a cocktail. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. Welcome to another episode of Penny for Your Shots. I'm Penny Fitzgerald, your host, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. I have often been asked, how did you get started with wine? What brought you to Traveling Vineyard? How did you decide that you wanted to do wine tastings? Well, it all started back in 2004. My husband and I, we had miles to use to take a trip anywhere, and they were going to expire at the end of the year, and it was getting close to the end of the year. It was inching up on November, and we said, where should we go? We should go somewhere, super fun. I've heard wine country is beautiful. It sounds romantic. I could pronounce Merlot. So yeah, let's do it. So we used our miles and went to Napa. We flew into San Francisco, drove up to Napa, Sonoma, and visited wineries. We went to 5 to 7 wineries every day for a week. And what we thought was going to be a really inexpensive trip turned out to be the most expensive trip we've ever been on. So by the time we were done with that week, we had joined 7 wine clubs. And when we got home, 16 cases of wine showed up at our door over the next week and a half. So we got to know our UPS driver, and we had a lot of wine in our basement for a while. And don't judge, seriously. At the time, we didn't know that much about wine, but we knew we loved it. And everywhere we went, we learned a little bit more. And one of the hard lessons that we learned was that, unlike what the movies show, wine does not get better with age always. That's not an absolute. So yeah, that was a hard lesson and an expensive one to learn. But yeah, we have learned so much throughout the years, and that kind of sparked my interest in wine. And, I was doing a corporate job at the time, and I loved it. I loved the company that I worked with. I loved especially the people that I worked with, but it was a sales job. And in that sales job, we were getting quotas. And one sales meeting I was in with my team, the team I was in, our manager was giving us information about the upcoming year and the new quotas that we were going to be under. And my heart started racing, and I checked my heartbeat, and it was 130 beats a minute while I was sitting there in a meeting. So I thought, oh my gosh, I need to make a change. This is way stressful. What should I do? So I did some research. I looked into maybe becoming a wine steward or a distributor or a wholesaler. And the distributors that I talked with discouraged me from doing that. They said, we put so many miles on our car. We're constantly running. We're giving wine tastings every weekend. We go where we're supposed to go and show up and, schlep all this wine and are doing these wine tastings. So they really discouraged me from pursuing that. So I thought, well, I'm not sure what I can do with wine. And I kind of put it on the back burner for a while. And then my friend Jennifer said, hey, I just saw this article in the newspaper, and it's about this direct sales company where they do in-home wine tastings. I think you should take a look at this because you really loved Mary Kay. Well, yeah, I did. But I just didn't want to be that person that was always talking to people about my products or that was bugging people. And it just didn't sound like a real opportunity, like a real career, a real job, whatever that means, right? So I kind of poo-pooed it, but I thought, what's the worst that can happen? Let me check it out. So I contacted the company. They put me in touch with a local wine guide who answered my questions, and I still wasn't quite sure. But the more I thought about it, I thought, really, what's the worst that can happen? I drink all the wine and I'd be done with it. So that's kind of how I jumped in and got started being a wine guide. 3 weeks after I signed up with this company, with Traveling Vineyard, my company that I was working for in my sales job that I was in, they did a reduction in force and my entire department was let go. So I was in the distribution side and the pick, pack, and ship side of things, and my entire department was gone. So that was really painful. But I thought, well, maybe this is a sign. I should maybe take this wine thing and see what I can do with it. So for the next 12 to 18 months, I really focused on building my business and holding as many wine tastings as I could, or as I wanted to, or as my schedule would allow. So I was holding about 10 to 12 tastings every month for that first while there, and just really built my customer base and just loved it. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. Still is. I mean, I love doing wine tastings with people and teaching them about wine and why you swirl and sniff, what temperatures you serve a wine at, what's appropriate for what foods go with wine, how you store it. If you have to ask how you store it, we can't be friends. Just kidding. But yeah, there are a lot of fun things about wine. It's a very fun product. And I help bring more fun doing my wine tastings. So that's kind of how I got started with the wine business. And from there, I started building my team and teaching other people how to do the wine tastings, supporting them as they kind of made their own goals and reached them. A lot of people on my team have done really amazing things, and I'm just so proud of them and excited for them and their families and what they've been able to do with it. And I love it myself. So this has been a super fun job for me. So now I'm morphing into these podcasts and sharing the love of wine here. I'm continuing to do the wine. I'm also going to, keep doing wine tastings and sharing that virtually and in person. I do a lot of corporate wine tastings where a company or a manager, depending on what your audience is. I have a lot of companies that hire me to do wine tastings with their people across the country. So I would send bottles of wine to their associates or their team across the country and then do a wine tasting with them virtually. So it becomes a happy hour where we spend some time, like about an hour together, and I walk them through how to taste the wine, and very similar to what I do in homes, but I'm not selling anything because the bottles of wine are already there. So that's one way. A lot of people who are entrepreneurs, especially, or who own their own business, they like to reward their customers this time of year, especially getting into the holidays. They like to reward their customers with bottles of wine or a fun event. So a happy hour with customers is another thing that I've been doing. Very fun to do those virtually as well. And of course, the in-home wine tastings with a host and his or her friends is always super fun. So those are the things that I really look forward to on a day-to-day business, is sharing the love of wine and talking about it. So here I am with this podcast, but the podcast is more than just wine. So with this podcast, I am sharing stories from women. I feel like we haven't necessarily been heard. I feel like a lot of people feel that way, but my friends especially, I look back at some of my friends from college, from my career that I've had all through life. There are women who have had brilliant stories and lots of fun too. And I want to share those stories with you because there are lessons to be learned for all of us that we can apply to every aspect of our life. And there are also super fun things that we can sit back and chuckle about. So that's why I want to talk to you about these stories and bring them to you and lift these women up, because we all need that. And wine brings people together. So maybe we'll share some information about how we met, or some of the wine that we like best, or some recipes that go with wine, or just recipes in general. All the things. But yes, for sure, we'll talk about women's stories of resilience, what lifts them up, why they got into what they're doing, what they would have done differently, and what they tell their younger selves to lift them up. So I hope you enjoy every episode, and I hope you love the stories that I'm bringing you. And these women deserve to be heard. So thank you so much. Cheers to us. That's a wrap on another spirited episode of Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women. I hope you've enjoyed the intoxicating blend of wisdom, wit, and wonder that these incredible women bring to the table. Check out the show notes for links to resources referenced in today's episode. And remember to subscribe and raise a glass with me every Thirsty Thursday as we continue to serve up inspiration, celebrate resilience, and reignite the passions that set our souls on fire. If you've loved what you've heard, please share the podcast far and wide and leave a sparkling 5-star review to let me know your thoughts. It would also help tremendously if you would visit pennyforyourshots.com and subscribe to learn when new episodes are available and pick up my free recipe. In the meantime, remember that your story deserves to be served and savored. Cheers to your brilliance and of women everywhere. Until next time, keep sipping and experiencing life's extraordinary moments. This is Penny for Your Shots, signing off with a clink and a toast to us. Cheers.